Shalom, all praise to the Most High. So, just as a quick part two, right? So, in the last video, I was helping the one sister out because she asked a question concerning how to get everything situated when it comes to writing a book. I went into a lot of the physical details of things, but in this video, I want to cover the spiritual aspects of writing a book. As we already know, everything in our life is spiritual, right? As much as there's natural components, everything stems from the spiritual, right? Now, with that being the case, we have to understand a couple of things when it comes to maintaining a certain lifestyle and also conveying it as a message as an author. Now, just real quick, I'm no expert at this, right? So anything that I'm saying, this is just through personal experiences. This may even come from certain other individuals who are self-published authors or even in the mass media. They may kind of give you a little bit of the same pointers, but I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. As I said in my last video, we are basically living epistles. According to the scriptures, that's exactly what we are. We're living epistles. People are able to read our story. The more that they spend time with us, the more that we engage in conversations, the more transparent we are. Why not just put it in book form? That's literally what we're doing every time that we are holding conversations, maybe, fellowshipping here and there. We're allowing people to get into our mental space, get into our spiritual space, and we're just that transparent enough to allow them to see a part of us that maybe many other people don't get to see, right? And that's basically what your authorship is all about. It's about exposing those hidden parts of you that most people don't get to see. But because that's the case, we have to be able to maintain a spiritual lifestyle. So that might require you to have a dedicated prayer life. It's going to require you having a dedicated fasting life. It's going to cost you being able to just consecrate yourself for seasons and times so that you can tap into that voice, tap into the message that's needed in the season and the time in which you're going to be putting out your manuscript. I spend more time praying. I spend time meditating. I set much of my intentions behind why I'm writing the books that I write. I have so many different books already put together that has not yet been, published. But at the same time, I understand that every book has a season. Every book has a time. And so that's something that you're going to have to really tap into. Is this the time? Is this the season for this actual book? Right? And you'll know that. It's like your spirit already knows what type of time it is for the material that you're actually about to release, because you'll feel that sense of urgency. But you have to prepare yourself for the levels of exposure that's necessary for you to communicate your thoughts accurately, effectively, right? And in a way that it's not so monotone. This goes into what I said earlier in my previous video, is finding your actual voice. What type of voice do you have? Do you have like a matter-of-fact voice? Do you have a comical voice? Do you have an uplifting metaphorical voice? It's like, what type of voice do you have? A lot of that stems from your communication with the Most High as well. Like, how do you receive when you're in your time of prayer, when you're in your time of meditation, when you're in your time of study? We just have to be very in tune with ourselves, in tune with what's going on around us, be in tune with the audience that we're dedicating our books to, all of that. The information is being put on paper, but the information is spiritual. Just remember that. I believe one of the most important things, though, is setting your intention. Now, that might sound like a new age concept to some people when you hear that, set my intention, but even the scriptures tell us about our intentions, right? Our intentions must be pure. Our intentions govern everything that we do, everything that we say. The force, the effectiveness of what we do, the force, the effectiveness of what we say is all hidden in our intention. So you have to have your intention set before you even start putting pen to paper and before you start putting your fingers to the keys. That is a very high spiritual understanding. What are your intentions? Is your intention only to be a published author? Is your intention to be a best-selling author? Is your intention to really edify the people? Is your intention to make a name for yourself? Is your intention really to glorify the Father? Or is your intention to draw attention unto yourself? These are the things that we have to really, focus on and really answer. We got to answer those questions before we do anything, because based on what our intention is, this is going to also determine the effectiveness. It's also going to determine our drive. It's going to determine our dedication, our determination to get it accomplished. So this is why we have to understand if what we're doing is just a way for us to check off something on our bucket list, or if it's an actual mandate. Is it an actual assignment that we are fulfilling? If it's a mandate, if it's an assignment, then we know for a fact that this has nothing to do with any selfish reasoning. It has everything to do with why the Most High would give us the assignment and the people that's connected to that assignment. Okay? Now, you could be standing on a prophetic word that was given to you concerning this book. That's an assignment. It can be based on maybe levels of conversations you've had with people and it sparks something within you to write this book. It could be something that you've experienced in your own personal life and you felt as though that it would be an edifying tool for other people. So that's your intention behind why you're writing the material that you're writing. So with that being the case, we have to live a life that is authentic and that's intentional, right? Know our purpose. Know the reasoning behind why we're doing what we're doing. Know what our message is, because that message is what carries the reinforcement. You understand what I'm saying? If we don't know what our message is and we're just writing something down just to be writing it, just to say that we wrote something, it may not have as much of an effect as if we're very intentional behind what we're writing and why we're writing it. There's many other spiritual aspects to writing a book, but for this video, I just wanted to cover the intention, right? What is your intention? Because your intention, it's what's going to determine a lot. Number one, personally, within yourself, it's going to dictate your drive, your dedication, your commitment, all of that. And then also being real, being true, being authentic, being transparent. That means that you really can't fake the funk, right? Because it's going to come out even in your writing. That's what people sometimes don't understand. If we're going to be intentional, that's going to be the best way for us to actually communicate our thoughts. And hopefully when the reader reads the material, that effect will also be upon them, so that the same experiences that you had that were life-changing, that same empowerment, that same reinforcement, that same anointing, it comes upon them and becomes active in their life, so that then they can experience those levels of elevation, insight, revelation, as well as deliverance, and so many other different virtues from the Most High, as you, the writer, experienced as well. Shalom.